Hypothetical question. You are in the Helluva Boss Hazbin Hotel universe. You are going to die and go to hell. You don't get a choice about that. But what you do get to choose is, what is your sin that sent you to hell? What is your hell sona? In other words, what do you look like once you get to hell? And provided the fact that eventually you might be able to become an overlord of hell, what would that look like for you? What would be your entire gimmick as an overlord of hell? So, Hatter, I'm not going to ask you if you are ready to answer a hypothetical about Helluva Boss, because I already know the answer to that. You were born ready.
Well, I've been ready since like 2015 when the show became a thing, but yes. Yeah. I've been waiting for this. So, what is our first part of the question again?
First part of the question for everyone, and of course, as always, remember, let us know in the comments your answer as well. You're going to hear his, you're going to hear mine, and we want to hear from you. The first part of the question is, what is your sin that sent you to hell?
Pride. I don't have to think too hard about it. It's definitely pride, because I'm the kind of person, I'm self-aware. You know, I know about my faults, and one of them is whenever I'm in a room, if there's a discussion happening, if there's an argument, whatever, immediately my assumption is I'm the smartest person in this room 9 out of 10 times. I mean, it's not like I think everybody else is dumb. I just have a very high opinion of my own intelligence. And you know what? I should, because I am very, very smart. And I'm not even joking right now. I actually mean that. See, I'm self-aware. At the very least, I'm self-aware. So yeah, definitely pride. So I'll fit right in the area where all this is happening. And it's probably going to be something like that, like so if there is a judgment, I see you tend to think you're the smartest person in the room. And, you know, whatever judges are there, well, the smartest person in this room, and yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think that is exactly how you get sent to hell, Hatter. I 100% believe that. Whenever I was discussing my answer and thinking about it, my first thought was, well, I'm not sure what mine would be. I don't think it would be pride. I don't think I'm a prideful person. And then I stopped and thought about it, and I had to realize that the reason I didn't think I was a prideful person is the scenario in my head was, well, yeah, I mean, of course, as the first time I see an overlord of hell and they imply that they should be able to tell me what to do or that they're better than me, I would, of course, spend the rest of my eternal afterlife plotting their downfall and destroying them for daring to look down on me like that. But that's normal, right? That's just what anyone would do. That's not prideful, right? And then I realized that, no, I think that's prideful. I don't think that's what everyone would do. I think that's just me. So yeah, no, I'm going to be joined down in hell. We're going to be there on the same charges.
Yeah, and you're not the only person, because if it was me, my first thought... Let me tell y'all a little story about a boss, my most recent boss, and the reason I'm doing content creation full-time, because I just can't deal with bosses anymore. My last boss had the foolish notion to try and insult my intelligence, and from what I've said before, I'm sure you can guess that didn't go well, right?
Yeah, I can't imagine that would have bothered your pride at all. No, I can't imagine.
So this boss, first of all, I stayed my last 2 days because the people I was working with the next 2 days I actually liked, and I didn't want to leave them holding the bag. And then I left. So I called everyone. I called the police, the FBI, everyone within my power. That is a joke that some people are going to get, but let's just move on. Seriously, I called the district manager. I called corporate. I spoke with everybody. This boss, who was like a regional manager and everything, now works at Starbucks for minimum wage. And still, once a month, I like to go there and order a ridiculously complicated coffee order. Only if this boss is working. I would never do that to a fellow worker, but this one has a special place in my own personal hell. So yeah, the second an overlord tried to act like they were better than me, I would make it my absolute mission not only to get more power than they have, but to see them stripped of all the power that they have. It would not go well for them.
Now, that very well could go very badly for either of us as we attempt to do that. Weirdly, I could see either one of us ending up like Alistair, where we accidentally sell our soul to someone else. And I could see us having an entire tragic arc.
Yeah, probably. Now, see, well, again, when it comes to pride, my other issue is I don't really let things go. So, yeah, it could happen. But then again, if I have all of eternity to figure it out, well, depending on when the angels come, but let's assume that's not a thing. If I have all of eternity to figure it out, my other issue is that I'm a procrastinator. So, some days I'll just be like, don't feel like working on this today. But eventually, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not in 100 years, but at some point, whoever talked down on me would be living in the gutter.
Now, taking that same spirit, we're going to assume that eventually we do make it all the way up to overlord of hell. We eventually do gather that power to where we are the ones running an entire industry of hell. Now, that's an important thing to remember is that in hell, the overlords tend to be the masters of industry. They tend to be over something. Like, of course, Alistair was over the radio. We have Rosie, who is over Cannibal Town. We have Carmilla Carmine, who deals in weapons. So there's going to be kind of a gimmick, kind of a thing, kind of a business that you're in charge of. So what would be your persona? Actually, I get ahead of myself. Before we get to that, speaking of personas, what is your hellsona? What does your hellish embodiment look like? Much in the same way that we see people, who take on animal traits, who take on various different personifications of their sin, whatever. What does your hellsona look like?
Well, we've spoken about this before. My patron demon is Rom. Rom is somebody who likes to steal from the rich and give to the poor most of the time. Rom knows about secrets. Rom knows how to create and destroy alliances. So I think I would still look fairly human, but I would wear a crow mask to represent my allegiance to Rom. Maybe we'd even become friends. Who knows? But, yeah, my whole thing in becoming an overlord is I know things. I find things out. I know how to blend in with the crowd. I know how to make somebody my friend for as long as I need to. And I know how to do this in real life too. And find out what I need to know about them. And, if we end up being friends, sure, I'm going to hold on to it, but I'm probably never going to have to use it. But let's say I don't like, what's the guy with the TV for his head? Because I really don't like him.
Vox.
Yeah, I get in good with Vox, become good friends with him, find out all of his secrets. And hey, internet, did you know Vox doesn't know how to fix a virus on his computer? Did y'all know that? And just really spread it. And he's like, why did you do this to me? I just don't like your attitude. And still, because again, I have this, I'm just going to say that I've cultivated this ability at this point. I have this ability to have the people who actually know me think, well, he wouldn't do that to me. Yeah. Basically just that. I would be Rom. I would probably, if Rom didn't actually exist in this world, that's the name I would take on. I would be Rom.
See, for mine, my persona, the physical embodiment, is absolutely going to be a short, stocky bulldog with a great bushy red beard. I just think Bulldog Man just encapsulates my persona, my tenacity and stubbornness. I think that fits me really well. As far as what I would do, as people who are familiar with me are probably aware, is I'm a writer. The thing is, one thing we see in hell or don't see in hell specifically is books. We see TV, we see radio, we don't see books. So I'm going to start the book publishing business in hell. Now, of course, it being hell, one of our best sellers is going to be smut. However, I'm still going to be sitting there. That's actually going to be one of my character things, is going to be writing in my notebook about my next novel that I'm trying to publish. Like, yeah, then they bang, but let's get back to the dragons. So I perceive myself as becoming the writer of hell, and then using the profit that we make from selling all these smutty books to purchase weapons from Carmilla Carmine, and then kill all the other overlords that dared to insult me on my way up. So that's sort of my vibe.
Well, here's how I see that going. Someone comes to me, do you know any secrets about Gray? What secrets would I have to tell you? Have you read his novels? He puts everything out on the table.
Weirdly, if you've read my writing, that is accurate. That if you have read anything I've ever written, you know way more about me than I am comfortable with you knowing.
So you would be the one person who is immune to my powers.
I think we would be great. We would have a wonderful working relationship, kind of like Alistair, and you and I would kind of have a similar vibe to Alistair and Zestiel, where we really respect each other, we get along pretty well, and we are seen as a massive danger to everyone else. Also, Zestiel and Carmilla Carmine, is it just me, or is Zestiel just like a really chill dude? Actually, I'm getting like really cool guy vibes from him.
Yeah, no, he seems like the kind of guy that if you tick him off, you're going to have a lot of problems. And you won't have problems for very long, but you will have very big problems. But, he seems like the kind of guy. You ever watched The Venture Brothers?
Parts.
So you haven't seen Red Skull, probably, right?
No.
So he's this villain who is like, he separates his work and professional life. So when he's doing his villain stuff, he's very much a villain. He's terrifying. But when he's not, he's like the nicest guy ever. Zestiel is the Red Skull of this universe.
Absolutely. I love that.
I got
So
the wrong
everyone,
name there, but I'll put it in the comments when I remember it.
So everyone, let us know in the comments, what are your answers? What is the sin that sent you to hell? What is the form your hell sona will take? And what is your position as an overlord of hell going to look like? What is going to be your industry? Let us know in the comments. Also, make sure to like, subscribe, hit all the buttons, do all the things, both for the Gray Matters blog, this channel, and also for Save Awesome Studios, which is Hatter's channel. I'll make sure that everything is in the comments below. And as always, thank you for joining us on Hypothetical Questions with the Gray Matters blog.
Red Death is the Venture Brothers villain.
Awesome.